Marie Curie was one of the most brilliant scientists ever.
She discovered the substance radium as well as the whole idea of radioactivity, both crucial to the development of X-rays, the treatment of cancer, and loads of other things too.
Yeah, but she was also Polish, like me. She wore her wedding dress in the lab, and she just carried on with her work when everyone was really horrible to her.
In the end, she was awarded not just one, but 2 Nobel Prizes, the highest award you can get for scientific discovery.
But it all came at a very high price.
Marie Curie was born Maria Skłodowska in 1867 in the city of Warsaw in Poland.
I'm Polish.
You love it though, don't you?
Yeah, I did. The thing is, Poland then was very different to what it is today. It didn't actually exist as a country. It was divided between Prussia, Russia and Austria.
For women as clever as Marie, though, there weren't many opportunities. She dreamt of going off to Paris to study. It took her ages to save up the money, but she managed it in the end.
She did.
Paris was a whole new world for Marie, but although she was fulfilling her dream, it wasn't an easy time for her.
She lived in a cold, dingy attic 6 floors up. In the winter, it was so cold that the water would freeze in her basin. She survived on very basic food, bread with a cup of hot chocolate, fruit or sometimes eggs. She was even known to faint from hunger during her classes at the Sorbonne University.
That wasn't her only problem, though. She was also very lonely.
Must have been really hard for Marie making friends, don't you think? Because all her neighbours were French. They didn't understand Polish.
Yeah, you wouldn't understand if I said, jest mi tak zimno, skończył mi się węgiel.
Does it mean I'm hungry?
Nearly.
Oh.
Jest mi tak zimno, skończył mi się węgiel. Jest mi tak zimno.
I'm cold.
Tak
Put
zimno.
on, I'm cold, put on the fire.
Nearly. Jest mi tak zimno, skończył mi się węgiel.
I'm cold, I haven't got any firewood.
No.
Oh, I haven't got a fire.
No.
I'm cold.
Węgiel.
Wood.
Coal.
I'm cold, I haven't got any coal.
Yes.
I like it. Tell me how to say it. Okay.
Jest mi tak zimno,
Jest mi tak zimno.
skończył mi się węgiel.
Jest mi tak ciężko. Skończy mi się węgiel. Despite the slight language barrier, Marie was very excited to be in Paris. She couldn't wait to get on with her scientific research. But the thing was, she wasn't going to be making any groundbreaking discoveries until she could find herself a lab in which to do her experiments.
Luckily, a Polish friend of hers introduced her to a sweet young professor from the School of Physics, Pierre Curie, who had his own lab. Turned out to be a genius bit of matchmaking.
Are you using the Bunsen burner?
Oh, no, I finished with it. Please do, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm very grateful for you allowing me to share your laboratory, Monsieur Curie.
It's my pleasure, madame.
Oh, please, do call me Marie. I also wanted to tell you how wonderful your work on the magnetic properties of bodies at diverse temperatures is. It's a field I'm fascinated by.
Oh, no.
Oh, please, don't do yourself down. Your theory that ferromagnetic and paramagnetic substances are altered by thermal excitation is revolutionary.
Oh, you're too kind, madame. I mean, Marie.
I'm not saying it out of kindness. I believe you should be awarded with a Palme Academique for your work.
Oh, I'm not really interested in awards. I'm quite happy just being here with my work, though it has made all the more pleasurable having you here. How about we do another couple of hours' work, then I serve you some cheese and wine that my mother sent me from the country. What do you say?
That sounds wonderful.
The romance between Marie and Pierre continued to bubble away amongst the test tubes. In 1895 they were married.
For their honeymoon, they went on a cycling holiday around France, but not for long. Soon they were back in the lab making amazing discoveries together.
What they were working on was radiation. They just didn't know it yet. The outfit that Marie Curie wore to get married in was then the outfit that she wore every day in the lab for the rest of her life.
It must have been a pretty good outfit.
Well, so here's the underskirt.
Quite plain, quite practical. Yeah, I just don't think that Marie was that interested in clothes.
Yeah, she can't be that interested in clothes if she wore the same thing to work every day the whole of her life. Oh, this is a sweet shirt.
Yeah, I think she was a sweet lady.
Do you think Mary ever washed her outfit?
The outfit was probably covered in radiation,
Oh yeah.
so I don't think washing was going to get rid of that. I think it was probably quite radioactive, her outfit.
I think I've done the buttons up a bit wrong.
It's a very simple shirt to put on.
I know, I'm sorry. How's that?
It's fine, it's simple. I'm a scientist. I don't need any frills. Just need my brain.
There's lots of frills to come. Here you go, here's the proper skirt. Oh, this is quite nice. I like the colour of this and its little green dots.
It's very streamlined, which is what I like about it. It wouldn't get in the way with Bunsen burners and things.
Yeah, there's also the jacket. This
Ooh.
is fabulous.
Now that's a bit jazzy.
Oh, hello.
I think Pierre would have liked this one.
You like these? Some booties. And then look, there's this belt to kind of go round it.
Oh, that's nice.
Do some flinging your arms around, lighting
Quickly,
burners.
there's a discovery to be made. I can see. The thing is glowing. Pierre!
How's that feel?
I feel good. I feel very, agile and
Yeah.
in control. Not too hot either.
Yeah.
I feel very serious, like I've got a job to do.
Yeah, even you look quite serious in that, which is quite amazing.
I feel serious.
In 1895, a German physicist called Wilhelm Röntgen discovered a new kind of invisible ray that was able to see through flesh to produce photographs of living people's bones. One of the first ones ever done looked like this. They were dubbed X-rays, X because no one quite knew what they were. In fact, though they would have an important influence on Marie Curie's work, I'm not exactly sure what they are either.
Right, Fran. X-rays are types of invisible rays that travel in waves. Some things travel in waves, so for example, sound, light and X-rays. But they all travel at different frequencies. So this is a low frequency, this is a slightly higher frequency, and this is a really high frequency. So the reason why we can't see X-rays is because they travel at really high frequencies. Do you understand?
Sort of.
You don't, do you? Come on. So to explain it another way, take one of these, good, and see this?
Yeah.
This is a sound wave. This is a light wave.
Yeah.
And if you crush it like this, that is an X-ray.
Or a rather lovely bracelet.
Or amazing earrings.
This is one of the oldest X-ray sets in the world.
When X-ray sets first came out, they weren't used in hospitals. Instead, people thought they were so amazing that they paid to go to parties where they demonstrated these supposedly magic rays.
Is this a fun thing for a party?
Yeah, it's like having a super cool magic trick performed for all your friends. Better than a rabbit out of a hat.
I love rabbits out of hats.
So we found out that different objects all absorb different amounts of X-rays. We've come to an X-ray machine to test that this actually works.
Yeah, and different things show up as different colours on the X-ray machine. So something organic, like a melon, not an organic melon, but like, you know what I mean, something natural, living, shows up as orange. Something metal, like this set of keys, shows up as blue. And something mineral, like rock or glass, shows up as green.
Yeah.
So let's see if this is true.
Ah! There it is.
An orange melon,
weird.
a blue set of keys, and a green pot.
Now what we've got to do, we've got some other objects with things hidden inside them. We don't know what they are. We're going to put them through, see if we can work it out just from looking at the screen.
Oh, a baby snake. Ha! So those are obviously nails.
Ow, that's going to hurt. Can we do the loo roll next? What could you hide inside a loo roll? Yeah?
A metal bracelet.
A slinky! Ah! Oh! It's a slinky. Whoa! This is a brilliant game, look.
Fran, there's work to be done.
I got it in with no hands. Right, okay.
This is my owl.
Right.
I think this has a, either a safety pin or a grape inside it. Don't be scared.
Oh!
Food! Food.
Thing is, that tin's metal, so is that going to work if it's metal?
Yes, because you can't go through metal, like with the metal jackets. X-rays can't go through metal.
Yeah.
But this is very thin metal. Ah, it's a plane.
So it's a metal plane in a metal box.
Because the plane has thicker metal than the...
Oh, no, I know, because different kinds of metal absorb different amounts of X-rays.
I knew that too. Last thing.
What do you think's in the flamingo? Are
Um,
you asking it what's in it?
no, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything in it. Oh, it's a pencil sharpener.
So, in an airport, if a flamingo wanted to hide a pencil sharpener inside it, it couldn't, is our conclusion.
Yes, that is our conclusion. The amounts of these substances from tons and tons of rock.
The type of rock they used was this, pitch blende. It's a sort of brown, grey, glittery thing that you can find on the beaches in Cornwall or wherever. But what's special about it is it gives off radiation. You can measure radiation with one of these things, a Geiger counter. So if you put the pitch blende in front of it, look, Ania, look, it goes bonkers, see?
No, I know. She discovered two elements, polonium, which she named after her homeland, Poland, and radium, which she named after the Latin word for ray, radius.
To describe these two new elements, Mary invented a brand new word, radioactive, meaning anything that actively gives off radiation.
There was no question of obtaining the needed proper apparatus in common use by chemists. We simply had some old pine wood tables with furnaces and gas burners. With this equipment, we entered on with our exhausting work. Yet it was in this miserable old shed that we passed the best and happiest years of our life, devoting our entire days to our work. One of our joys was to go into our workroom at night. Pierre!
What's wrong?
The radium bromide's emitting light. It looks like fairy lights.
It is beautiful.
What's wrong with your hands?
Oh, I spilled some radium on it. It'll be fine.
You don't look well.
Is this something wonderful we've discovered, do you think? Or is it something rather terrifying?
I don't know.
Pierre was onto something. Radium was a pretty dangerous substance. It was soon to have a massive impact on both his and Mary's health.
Their bodies were constantly exposed to the harmful gamma rays emitted by the radium. It affected their skin, their eyes, their lungs, even their bones.
Sounds awful.
It was. They were ill and tired practically all the time. Over the years, radium in its various forms has proved to have many industrial and medical uses. For example, radium bromide is used in the treatment of many types of cancer.
Radium sulfate can be used to detect flaws and weak points in various metals and equipment.
Radium used to be used to make luminous paint that was used to make things like clock dials, so they would glow in the dark.
And without Mary and Pierre's early experimental work, we probably wouldn't have nuclear power.
Yeah, but as well as all the pros came all the cons. When the human body is exposed to too much radium, it can actually lead to cancer and other horrible diseases.
Also, the invention of nuclear power led to the invention of nuclear weapons.
So now we know what X-rays are, we need to figure out how they work.
But to get some help with this, we've come to talk to Sarah, who's a radiologist. So, how do they work?
X-rays are energy travelling through space, or if you like, radiation. If you imagine on a really sunny day, if you put your hand in front of a piece of paper, the sunshine will shine through the gaps between your fingers and show up as a shadow on the piece of paper. But it can't shine through the bones, because the bones will actually stop the radiation, or with X-rays, going through to the X-ray plate or film. So actually we'll see the different things made of different materials in different densities on the picture.
So, these are some real X-rays here. What's this one?
This is the X-ray looking at the side of someone's skull. So if you look here, this is their jawbone. This is their nose, which unfortunately they've been punched on their nose. So instead of the nose sticking out beautifully, it's all squashed and flattened in there. And this is a piercing through their tongue.
Okay, what other ones have you got there?
Right, let me show you. This is a bit like the first X-ray that was ever performed of someone's hand. But if you look closely, you can see actually they've got a very painful hand because they've broken their bone here. And that's the bone in the little finger here.
It's only a tiny mark though that you can see.
No, look, there's like a little double crack in it, isn't there?
You could be a radiologist.
You see? Maybe that's a career for me. If you did an X-ray of your chest where your heart is, would you have a little
would
Let me
have
show you.
slightly thing of your heart.
I'll show you. This is the picture of someone's chest here. So that's the heart in the centre, and you're absolutely right. It's quite dense there. And this person actually had a chair leg in their chest, but you can't see it because it's made of wood.
Had a chair leg in their chest?
They had a chair leg in their
You
chest.
see some weird things in your job. So why can't you see the chair leg?
Because the density of the wood doesn't stop the X-ray beam to any different degree than the rest of the chest.
When we were in the Science Museum, we saw a really old X-ray machine, like one of the earliest ones that was ever made. But this is different. This is a modern one.
Yes, this is our up-to-date machine over here. So the X-rays are produced in this tube here, and you would stand behind it
Oh, Ania, go stand in it.
with your back to me and your arms over the top of the machine. And then I would tip this tube and fire the beam of X-rays at your chest, and it would produce a beautiful picture on the other side.
But I wouldn't feel anything.
No, and you wouldn't even know I'd done it.
So by firing the beam of X-rays at her, you're sort of shooting radiation through her to see through her flesh.
That's exactly right, yes.
And how much radiation is it?
It's about 0.05 millisieverts is what she's getting.
Oh, millisieverts, I like that word.
I'm not actually getting it, by the way. We're just pretending.
Yeah. But if she's going to have an X-ray, that's how much she'd get.
Exactly, and that's about a 50th of what she'd get from just sort of living in London for a year, from the rocks and the atmosphere.
Oh, wow. So you just get radiation, tiny doses of radiation when you walk around every day.
That's right.
Just a little mini sievert. That's my new favourite word, mini sievert.
Can I get out of here, please?
Suppose so.
Obviously, radiation is not that good for you, so you have to wear this crazy metal jacket, which is very heavy.
Is it heavy?
Yeah, it's heavy. It's metal.
Well, some materials
weird.
stop X-rays, and that can be concrete or lead. And obviously you wouldn't want to go around doing my job wearing a concrete apron, but lead you can make into a nice jacket like that one. But it is very heavy, isn't it?
So do you have to wear one of these all day?
No, only when I come near the actual beam of radiation.
So bigger doses of radiation are quite bad for you. So what can they do to you?
Well, there's 3 different levels of radiation. There's the lower level for producing the pictures, slightly higher level when you're going to treat people with, say, cancers, where you're trying to actually kill the nasty cells inside them, and then the much higher levels, which obviously you don't want to be exposed to, like from bombs and radiation accidents like that, where actually it can make you very ill, it can make your hair fall out and very sick, and obviously you don't want to be exposed to doses like that, and it's very unusual.
But was it the exposure to the radiation and that's what gave Marie Curie leukemia?
Unfortunately, yes.
In 1903, Marie and Pierre Curie were jointly awarded the Nobel Prize for Physics, though neither could attend the ceremony because of increasingly ill health.
Then in 1906, Pierre went for a walk in Paris in the pouring rain when a wagon collided with a horse and cart. Pierre was crushed under the wheels of the wagon and died instantly.
Marie, of course, was devastated, but she was determined to carry on with her work. She soon became the first female professor in France and also set up a radium institute in Pierre's honour.
But there were still people that didn't want to take her seriously. Why is that?
I'm not sure, actually. Let's ask Ben.
Ben,
Hi, Ben.
Hi.
why did the French not take Marie Curie seriously?
Well, there's a horrible combination of prejudice against women and prejudice against a foreigner. The French press couldn't believe that a woman from Poland could have come up with these great discoveries. So her second Nobel Prize was almost completely ignored.
I guess especially because it's in science, which traditionally was quite like a male-dominated field.
But she was the first great female scientist, and it was very hard for a lot of people to take, I think.
Because that's what we always know of her, like the first great female scientist. But what was she actually like? Like, was she a laugh to hang out with?
Well, probably not. She was very driven by her science, and that's what she spent most of her time doing. She'd come from Poland and saw these great opportunities to learn that she would never have got before. This was an opportunity that you could never be let up, so she seized every opportunity she could.
No, was she not scared about the effects of radium?
No, not at all, to the extent that she kept a glowing piece of radium beside her bed, which so eerily glowed in the dark, which nowadays we would think was terribly scary, very dangerous. But then nobody knew the effects of this. It was far too early to tell, even though her husband Pierre began to get ill. They put it down to the fact that they worked in a laboratory that let in drafts in winter and let in rain, became very stuffy in summer. It was only years later that a common thread of what happened to people that were exposed to radium, how their symptoms developed, and Marie Curie got these symptoms. but by then it was too late.
I think I would have liked her.
I think you might have done. She was very modest and got praise from everyone for her unassuming character and sort of love of science.
Before we go,
Yes?
we got you a new book.
Oh, brilliant. I needed a new book. Fantastic. I'll keep you going till next week.
Okay.
Thanks, Em. See ya.
Goodbye. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Just as things were getting a bit too much for Marie, she was cheered up by being awarded her second Nobel Prize, this time in chemistry.
The year was 1911. She was actually the first person in the world to be awarded 2 Nobel Prizes. How good is that?
Amazing. In 1914, the First World War broke out. Marie was determined to make herself useful.
She had the sneaky idea of using X-rays to treat wounded soldiers. They helped doctors see embedded bullets and broken bones.
She raised money to set up special X-ray vans. Then she learnt to drive, did a crash course in mechanics just in case her van broke down, and did a course in anatomy, which is the study of human organs.
But that wasn't all. Marie and her 17-year-old daughter Irene went off to where the fighting was. They supervised the conversion of 200 vehicles that became known as Little Curies.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, they were a big success.
Even someone as clever as Marie Curie hadn't realised how much damage radiation had done to her health.
In 1934, she was diagnosed with leukemia, and she died not long after. Radiation, the source of so much of her happiness, her passion, her success, was also the thing that killed her. The reason we love Marie Curie, why she's one of our favourites of the entire series, isn't just because she was an amazing scientist.
No, we love her because she was a really nice person. I want to be her.
Are you brilliant at science?
No.
Do you love hard work?
No.
Even when you're really ill?
No.
Are you Polish?
Yes.
Brilliant!
Marie Curie was born in Poland like me, hooray! Then she went to Paris, ate crumbs like a bird, and was really cold. But then she went and met Pierre Curie, wore her wedding dress in the lab, and was really happy, but got a Nobel Prize. But then Pierre Curie was killed under a wheel. Really sad, but she didn't give up. She set up X-ray vans, got a Nobel Prize, and it was brilliant! I love her.